Hello everybody. So for those that have tuned in, try not to laugh too hard. So basically, instead of spending another couple of hundred, if not $1,000 on a 3-point chain harrow, I think it's pronounced, I decided to see what I had laying around the house in the barn area there, and for those of you that are my age, you'll understand this. MacGyver it. So basically, let me just kind of get on this side. So I got the generator still running from the other day, so I got that running for a bit, and yeah, it's going pretty good. Anyways, so what I did, you can see this okay. I took about I think this is 3 feet. This is like an old bar that was pounded in the ground, I guess to hold, I don't know what they were using it beforehand, but I pulled it out last year, I think a year before. I pulled it out of the ground, and good thing I kept it. And I basically screwed it down with that wire strap stuff, I don't know what it's called. And then I basically went around, all the way around it, underneath it, so that this goes all the way around, so that, because there's going to be a lot of pressure being pulled this way, and I didn't want the screws to get pulled out. So by doing that, I put a few nice nails in there as well that we had that took out from the deck, reuse. This was an old, this blue thing here was an old push snow brush thing that we never used, that the previous owner left. So I took the plastic snow pusher off of it. I drilled 2 holes in here on either side, through a couple nails, and basically 4x4 that I had scrap. I did the same thing with the strap here. Went all the way around it to give it, because it goes to all the way around to about here, kind of thing on the bottom part of it, so that while I'm pulling, it doesn't pull the screws out, or nails, because I put screws and nails. And then I needed to figure out, well, I had a 20-foot tow chain, and I'm like, well, do I use my tow chain and get that all covered in poop, and then if I need it, I got to take it all apart again if I'm dragging logs or anything else out? Then I realized, because that was my wife's idea, to use that. I'm like, okay, I can use that, instead of having to buy a chain. And then I figured, well, hang on a second, I have a set of front tire chains for the winter that I can't use anymore on here. The reason, if you look back at my other videos, it'll show that I installed the front tire chains. The problem is with the front tire chain, as soon as if I make it too hard of a sharp turn, the chain clips on the frame. So I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. And I've had them for over a year, so I can't send them back or nothing. So I'm like, well, instead of I was going to sell them, then I haven't gotten around to that. And I figured, well, why don't we just throw them on here? The only slight modification I might end up doing to this is switching the chain around, because I realized after the fact I should have the less links here. These are the longer links here that what goes around the tire. Have that at the front, so I have more drag on the back. But for now, I just did I did 2 pastures. They're not very big. They're only a few hundred feet in diameter, kind of thing, or whatever it is. I have to measure it still. But anyways, yeah. So we get distracted because I'm looking at the water thing. We have 2 pastures with the cattle, and I mean cattle as in 4. So we need to be able to spread the cow manure so that it can, when it rains, if it rains, it'll be able to absorb into the ground quicker. We don't have the big cow patties, because it will take longer for that to break down. And help by spreading that manure around, as well as to push the weeds down so that the weeds kind of doesn't grow back, and gives the grass a little bit more opportunity to grow. But anyways, so yeah, so this lifts up and down. And if I turn the tractor on, you won't be able to hear what I'm yakking about, which is kind of good for some of you. But I can lower it down. So when I lower it down, Boom. And then all I have to do to unhook it is unhook the 3-point hitch handles, and then just grab the one part of it down the bottom here, this area, lift it a little bit, and it'll come out of the 3-point hitch. I put this like that, and it lifts right up, easy peasy. And yeah, so I've done 2 passers and it works. I don't know how it works, because normally when I MacGyver stuff, it doesn't usually work, but for some reason, I guess the stars are lined up in my favor. So yeah, so it's not the nicest thing to do with the chains, but again, they didn't fit, so it saves me having to spend a few $100 on some chain link or whatever it is, and I didn't have an old chain link fence to go around on this. So, but at the end of the day, it works, and all this is recycled. Recycled deck board here on either side. I had an extra piece of 4 foot, or no, that's not a 4 foot, that's probably like a 2.5 to 3 foot 4x4 post, that when I put the post in, this is like offcut of it, and offcut piece of 2x4, a whole whack of screws, and it works. So yeah, so for those that are looking to purchase a chain harrow, this, you know, I guess you can take this idea and modify it even more and make it wider. I didn't want to make it wider, nor did I have the excess chain, so I just kind of stuck with what I had. I guess you could do whatever to this and have an extra piece of wood come out, or just have this down and then have another piece here that comes across to make it 4 or 5 feet wide, and then that way you have more coverage. So but at the end of the day, it works. So yeah, if you have any comments, any suggestions, if I'm missing something here besides my MacGyver and aspect of things, for those of you that are my age, you'll understand what that means. Yeah, put a comment in. You know, if you want to pick it apart a little bit, by all means. You know, I'm sure I've missed something or whatever, but yeah, again, the only thing I probably should have done was is have the chain flipped around so that the more links, which are here, are at the other end. But either way, it works. Maybe I don't know, I might take it apart. All it is a few to do that. All it is those these nails here. There's nailed in there. So, but it works. At the end of the day, I don't care. You know, it saves spending about, I think, because I looked at a 3-point hitch equipment wise, and it's $1,000 plus in Canadian dollars. So I don't want to spend another $1,000 on something when, you know what, I can just make something and might take an extra couple of passes or here and there, whatever. I didn't want to do something for the 4-wheeler because at the end of the day, I want to be able to lift it up and back into a corner, and without having to pick it up and you know, move it around at the back of, you know, just have it like some of the ATV tow behind utensils that you can get for these things. I didn't want that. I want to be able to use the tractor, pick it up, back into position, drop it down. You know, if there's some poo or some manure piles that I missed, I can just grab, you know, back up, lift it, put it right on top of them or just in front of it and get them easy peasy. So anyways, I'm blabbering on again, and this is and again, all my videos that I'm doing, I'm just too lazy to get a proper camera, too lazy to get an editing program, so I don't edit my stuff. You know, like my previous one, I said 200 horsepower or something for the water pump, and it's 200 cc's. You know what, it is what it is. That'd be kind of interesting to see a 200 horsepower water pump from Canadian Tire. But anyways, yeah, so if any questions, by all means, put it in the comments. If you have something that you're seeing here that I could probably do a little bit better on this without having to purchase anything else that I might have laying around, by all means, leave it in the comment. And again, don't forget that like and subscribe. And for those that have tuned in, thank you. And those subscribers that have tuned in, thank you for your patience in my non-video uploading. Besides that, everyone have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys later.